Yep, this is the DAB590 podcast, hosted by Dan America Bruce. Dan imitates, impersonates, and cosplays characters created by Mike Judge. This is the DAB590 podcast. I'll tell you what. This is the DAB590 podcast, and I'm Dan America Bruce. I cosplay, impersonate, and do impressions of characters created by Mike Judge. Yup, I'm that guy on Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook who cosplays Hank Hill from King of the Hill. I'm not Mike Judge, and I would just like to make that clear. I'm just a cosplayer, impersonator, impressionalist, or is that even a word? I do impressions. Well, I copy Mike Judge. That's pretty much what I do. Well, not really, because I write and produce all my own material. Just I use the voice because, well, everyone's familiar with it, and it's really popular on social media. And this is DAB 590. It's a podcast about people news. It's about things that exist, explained in a way that everyone can understand. Because, well, to be honest, it seems like people don't understand things unless they're explained by a cartoon character or a collection of cartoon characters. And on DAB 590, I pretty much cycle through the voices that I can do, and I take on their personalities too. So if it seems like I'm talking to myself, I'm not crazy. I'm just an actor. Well, I am an actor. I'm an actor, a writer. I also have some production qualities to myself. But when I'm doing DAB 590, I'm pretty much doing 3 personalities at once, or 4. Yep, I'm doing 4 personalities at once. I'm doing Dan America, Hank Hill, Beavis, and Butthead. I cycle through the personalities during interviews. I make sure that you're all entertained by my impressions that I hope you are familiar with from my social media. But seriously, on DAB 590, it's a celebration of people. It's a celebration of culture. Because Mike Judge is one of my top 5 influences. And, well, I hope that Mike Judge isn't disappointed that he's within the top 5. And I'm not saying that he's at the number 1 spot. In fact, I don't even really know who my number 1 spot is. I guess I could say that it's George Carlin. To narrow it down, I'm Dan America Bruce. I do cosplay, impersonations, and impressions of characters created by Mike Judge. I'm my own person too, and I have my own personality, and you'll find that out. But when I'm doing this podcast, and when I'm talking to guests, and when I'm adding things, I tend to take on the personalities. I tend to take on the personalities of the characters that I'm cosplaying, impersonating, and doing impressions of. I assure you that I'm not crazy. I don't just stand there in a corner and have a weird, stupid smile and my hair isn't combed or anything. I'm just, well, kind of an actor, and I've been a fan of Mike Judge since 1993. Mike Judge helped shape my sense of humor and to some degree my personality. But let's not get into that. Let's not get into how crazy I may possibly be, although you are listening to a podcast that is possibly produced by a crazy person. I hope anyone doesn't have any conflicts with that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to myself and stuff. But anyway, I'm Dan America Bruce, and I do impressions cosplay, and I impersonate characters created by Mike Judge. And this is my podcast, DAB590. Well, I'll tell you, you can follow the Dan America on Instagram at DanAmerica59, the TikTok Dan America Bruce, the Facebook group Hank Hill Cosplay, the X Human America, YouTube Dan America Channel 59, and the Twitch DAB590. Coincidentally, and not ironically, and I would like to point out the difference between the two, our first podcast is about fandom. And for our first podcast, I interviewed my wife. She's into fandom, and it's something that I don't quite understand, and it's something that I don't feel that most people understand, but together, during this first podcast, the debut of DAB 590, maybe we'll understand it. You may not understand it from me, you may not understand it from her, but maybe you'll understand it from Hank Hill or Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, this is a podcast? Yeah, this is like a promo or something? Yeah, this dude pretends to be some dork and he thinks he's cool and stuff, and now he has a podcast? Yeah, he sucks. Dan America impersonates, he impersonates you, Beavis. Yeah. Oh, yeah, wait. No, wait. Then that means, like, you suck too. Damn it, butthead. This is the Dan America or DAB 590 podcast. Alright, everyone, it's DAB 590. I'm Dan America, and it's time to introduce our very first guest on DAB 590, and that is Maria Sheridan O'Neill Bruce. Alright, then you say your name.
My name is Maria Sheridan Bruce.
Alright, Maria Sheridan Bruce. And Maria is, she does this thing on Instagram at MariaSB85NYY. You do Izzy Hands in random places, right?
Yes.
You do Roger Clark Shows Up.
No.
All right, then what's that one called?
Arthur Morgan Just Shows Up.
Well, they're the same person, though, right?
No, one's a character, one's an actual person.
Okay, so Arthur Morgan Just Shows Up.
Yes.
Okay, and you've attended, how many cons have you been to? I lost count.
2.
Two. Or I wasn't paying attention. And you've met the people that you follow, right?
Yes, I've met Con O'Neill from Our Flag Means Death. He was also in the Batman and the Penguin series. I've also met David Hayter. He is the voice of Solid Snake and Snake in the Metal Gear Solid series. And this summer I hope to meet Roger Clark at the Mid-Hudson Comic-Con 2026.
All right. And what communities have you belonged to?
Years ago, back in 2020, for a while I was in the Doctor Who David Tennant fandom community. And then I was in the Our Flag Means Death fandom, which is actually the fandom that helped me come out as a queer person. And now I'm in the video game / Red Dead Redemption / Metal Gear Solid fandom.
Okay, that was a bit more than I thought. But so we're talking to you because of fandom, and we just pretty much went over your fandom credentials. So right now, I'm going to tell you what fandom is according to the internet. And then I want, in your own words, what fandom is. So according to the internet,
Fandom is a community of people brought together who share a passion for a specific person or aspect of pop culture. Fandom has online communities of people communicating about whatever it is that they are passionate about. Those who associate themselves with fandom communities often attend conventions and other events that relate to their designated fandom community. Fandom literally means the world of community of fans.
I mean, that's a really wordy way to say it. I pretty much think it means a community of people who have a common interest in either a character, actor, show, any kind of thing, and they all share that love, and they are part of a community where they share ideas, they share fan art, fanfic, which is fan fiction writing, bunch of different things. But you do tend to make friends from the community that you're in, depending on how long you're in it and how many people you get to know. It's mostly online, though, which is still okay.
So is that the only difference between fandom and being a fan?
Yeah, yeah. If you can be a fan of anyone and anything.
But does that mean it's fandom?
No.
So you're telling me that the Dallas Cowboy community can't be considered fandom?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, no, that does make sense. So yes, in that case, yes. Fandom community, sports teams have their fans. Fandom community, in my mind, though, is people who know each other, create things about a specific subject, as opposed to like a group of like sports fans of like a sports team.
But football fans create tailgate parties.
They do.
Well,
They do.
I think they all get a little bit too drunk to remember everyone's name, but we all remember the names of the players on our teams.
That's good. Good for them.
Yep, thanks, Hank. You're welcome. But, so
Anything could be fandom then.
Pretty much anything.
But there's like, a specific fandom where people gather on the internet. All right, let's take your Izzy Hands, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through this. You're a fan of Izzy Hands. You're putting Izzy Hands in random places. You're doing it on the internet, so what happens there?
So I used to do it daily. Now I kind of do it as the mood hits me. But the
Yeah, I'm kind of blindsiding you because in the pre-recorded explanation as to what I do here, I shift from character to character as you're talking. So, continue. Yeah, tell us how like you're in the mood and stuff.
well, I forgot where I was going from that.
I always remember where I'm going when I'm in the mood. Dang it, we're trying to let the lady explain herself here.
Thank you, Hank.
All right, so
Okay, so.
I forgot what I was saying.
All right. Well, seems like a personal problem. So you create this Izzy Hand things.
Yes.
All right. Now, where do you go from there? How do you find what you define as this fandom community that's kind of different from like a fandom for a sports community? I don't even know what you call that. Well, you're a Buffalo Bills fan, right?
Yes, I am.
Whoa! Well, now, would you consider your little Bills Mafia to be a fandom community?
I mean, you could put it that way, yeah.
Okay, so.
You could say that sports fans are a fandom. The way I got introduced to fandoms, though, were like specific things like TV shows. It's more on the internet.
So that's what I'm like trying to get the walkthrough on here is so let's go back to it. You create the Izzy Hand thing.
Yes.
It's on the internet. So do you seek out the community, or does the community seek you out?
They usually come to me in the sense that they like what I'm doing. Sometimes I get shares from the actor himself, which I'm very, very fortunate when he does that to myself or any of the fans when he shares their works. And then they come and follow me. Sometimes talk with them. But before I even did that, I used to talk with other Our Flag Means Death fans because it was such a new show. It was a queer pirate love show.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like a mainstream like Game of Thrones or anything like that where there's like hundreds of people, thousands of people because they like the books and stuff. It was an original series through HBO Max or Max. It was a Max original at the time. So because there was such a small community of people who liked this show when it first came out, we kind of all started talking together, things like that, on the internet.
So you just start
all over the world.
So you just start talking to each other, and all of a sudden you're an official fandom community. Like,
yeah, in a way, like I would say so in the sense that if you have enough people talking about a specific thing and talking with amongst each other about a certain thing, I would consider that a fandom. But like I said, you can have fans for anything. But fandom, I always consider more of an internet-based phenomenon.
okay, so why do you participate in fandom?
It makes me feel good. I never realized that I could be at all creative at all, and then I started doing the Izzy Hands in Random Places back in June of 2022, I believe. And then I did that for well over 1,000 days straight. Now I kind of do it every once in a while, but yeah, that's how long I've been doing it for. And
Explain it again.
Izzy Hands in Random Places is a photo editing series, like a Photoshop, if you will. I don't use Photoshop. I use PixArt. But anyway, what I do is I take random scenarios. It could be artwork. It could be a band. It could be anything. And then I clip a photo from Izzy Hands in the show. Like I'll go to YouTube and just like take a screenshot, clip him out, and then put him in whatever random place I see fit. It could be anything. And it's just for fun, really. I don't try to make any money off of it or anything like that.
Okay, and how did you come up with this?
I literally just came up with it.
Okay, so you just pulled it out of your brain.
Yes.
All right. And so that makes you feel good, makes you think you're doing something creative, like this dog that's here who keeps on crying. I think BB-8 wants to be on the podcast too. But okay, anyway. So now is the Arthur Morgan thing similar to the Izzy Hands thing?
Oh, it's extremely similar. It's literally just a different character and a different naming of the photo editing series.
Okay, so now going back to like the fandom thing, so your thing has it been about the character or the actor primarily?
What I was doing in the editing is always the character.
Yeah, but you also like the fandom communities.
It can be over the character and the actor. In this case with Izzy Hands, the actor Con O'Neill has been very gracious with his fans.
Mm-hmm.
Has followed multiple of them.
But he's in other movies and stuff. But like, there's one specific like group of people that do they only view him as Izzy Hands?
Sometimes, some of them do maybe.
Does Con acknowledge this?
Probably, yeah, he probably knows. But there's some people who only know him from like Our Flag Means Death. They may have watched other things. A lot of Con fans have tried watching every single thing he's in, which I have done as well. Anything that's available online. And, you know, sometimes being a fan of a certain actor, you watch all of their work, even if they're in something from, like, the 90s, and he's in there for, like, a minute. You still watch the whole thing to see that glimpse of him.
And in your fandom communities, like, everyone does this and everyone, like, gathers online to talk about this kind of stuff?
Sometimes, yeah.
They don't go outside and mow the lawn?
They probably do that too.
Yeah, they probably do that too. But, so, I guess, like, what I find interesting about, like, the fandom community is that it exists. And you're saying that it exists primarily because of the internet.
I would say so. Just not the way I was personally. What I personally would consider a fandom is more like TV shows, actors, things like that.
Well, I would know nothing about that.
Yeah, right.
The fandom communities gather at conventions, right?
Yes.
So you've been to 2 conventions, so what's that like? What's it like when it's, not online anymore and it's real life time? Is it weird?
No, it's crazy. The only fan conventions I've been to so far is New York Comic Con, which is pretty much the biggest fan convention in the Northeast. They do premieres of shows, movies there. A lot happens at New York Comic Con. First time
fandom communities getting together.
Yeah. So.
All right, keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
So there's multiple aspects of the conventions. You can cosplay, meaning dress up as a character. You're well aware of that.
Well, no, that would just be weird if somebody did that. Like, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if somebody just dressed up as Hank Hill and walked around the New York City Comic Con, that'd just be dang weird. I think they'd look like a dork. Yeah, because, like, who wants to see, like, some dude that sounds like Mr. Anderson when there's, like anime chicks and stuff? That's cool.
So, continue.
There's also vendors that sell, like, artwork and little charms, t-shirts, a whole bunch of things related to certain fandoms. And it's not just, like, TV shows. It could be comics, video games, but at those conventions, they're not really focused on the actor with those, drawings and stuff. It's more focused on whatever the medium is. It's like either the comic book, whatever.
But when you're in a fandom community and you go to a convention, what do you do?
When I go to a convention, I usually will go to a convention because of an actor that I want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
If an actor I want to meet is there, I will go. And then I will stand in line for multiple hours waiting to see that actor for, like, less than 5 minutes.
Well, that's dedication.
Yes, it is. And it's it can be expensive, too. But, sometimes you pay just so you can have that, like, less than 5 minutes of that connection. Like, for example, when I met Con O'Neill for the first time, he knew who I was. And to get a hug from him, it was, like, the most magical thing I've experienced. I've never met a famous person ever. So it was really, really cool.
Okay, so you pay and wait in line for the magic.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't go see the cosplayers?
Well, I see them. They're all around. It's kind of hard to miss them.
Well, when you went to see Con O'Neill, was there Our Flag Means Death cosplayers?
A lot of them, yes.
So there was a bunch of people dressed as pirates.
Yes.
Just a line of pirates waiting to see a guy who played a pirate. Well, okay, so it's probably not the weirdest thing that's happened.
Oh, God, no. There's people dressed up in all sorts of things. Things from, like, years ago that you wouldn't even think. I saw, my first year going, I saw someone dressed up as the troll from Central Park.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
a 90s, I think early 90s kids movie.
I don't remember the troll in Central Park.
I'm 4 years younger than you, so.
Was it an Olsen Twins movie?
No, it was an animated movie with a troll. I think Martin Short played the troll.
Okay. Well, now I'm kind of interested. But not all people attending Comic Cons and dressing like trolls from Central Park are there for the fandom. And that's what I really want to know about, is this weird fandom community. We're going to take a break here, and then we'll be right back. Well, obviously. We're not really going anywhere. I'm just going to play some promos.
So, like, if you like this stuff from Dan America Bruce, you can follow him on social media and stuff. Yeah. Like, social media is, like, cool and stuff, like, cause, like, there's, like, chicks and stuff. Yeah, but we have to, like, read this. You can follow Dan America on, Instagram at DanAmerica59. Yeah, I'm like TikTok, Dan America Bruce. Yeah. And then, like, he has, like, this, like, Facebook. It's, Hank Hill Cosplay. Yeah. And he's, like, on, like, X and stuff. Something about, like, Human America. Yeah. Then he's on YouTube, and, like, his name's, like, a dork's name. It's, like, Dan America Channel 59. Yeah. And on, like, Twitch, it's DAB590. Yeah. DAB590. Follow Dan America on his, like, socials and stuff. But, like, if you want to find, like, chicks and stuff, then, they're not on there. But, like, follow his socials.
And we're back with Maria, the fandom girl, who does Izzy Hands in random places, who does Arthur Morgan Shows Up.
Just shows up.
All right, Arthur Morgan just shows up. I hope we're having a good time here. Are you having a good time?
Yes.
Okay, we're not really in a studio or anything. Like I said, this is the first podcast of DAB590. Very informal, but I think that we covered some good ground. If you're still listening, Maria told us an awful lot about the fandom communities. I think we've established so far that the fandom communities, or as the wordy thing, yeah, thanks for calling my research wordy, it literally means the world of community of fans. And it's on the internet. That dang internet. I like the internet. Does anyone have any internet? And going back to the community stuff, so I guess what I want to ask, I'll ask in Hank style here. It's just, like, have you ever seen someone that perhaps has had just too much dang fandom?
Yeah, there's been creepy people in fandoms.
Well, like, are they burnt out on, or what do you mean creepy people?
Like, they can get to be, like, stalkerish with the actors and stuff like that. Like, really creepy people.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm more like, talking about the community here. Are there people, like, do you ever get fandomed out? Like, you get so engrossed in the community and what you're doing for a while that eventually you're just like, ugh, yep, Con O'Neill.
No. I mean, there's been...
Okay.
I mean, there's been times where, like, I have... Like, for example, I did the Izzy Hands in Random Places for well over 1,000 days straight. Every day. Did a photo edit. I eventually kind of just stopped doing it. Not altogether, but as daily as I did. I also did the Arthur Morgan Just Shows Up for over 100 days, almost 200 days now.
Okay, but going back to what you just said about, like, the creepy stalker people, like, do you fandom community people, like, are you able to tell who the stalker is?
Yeah, usually right away.
Then wouldn't you, like...
We don't talk to them usually. They usually kind of go off on their own.
So they just, like, hover around the community?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well, like, do they interact with the community, or
they try to, but sometimes when you can tell right away, you usually try to, like, avoid that person.
I'm trying. I'm just, like, imagining this, and I'm just, like, imagining a convention with all, like, the fandom community people that are, like, okay or cool, or, like, all hanging out, like, talking to each other, and then there's this one, like, weird guy dressed as a pirate who's, like, kind of got his hands in his pocket, and he's trying to talk, but people are shunning him.
Well, they don't shun him to his face, they just don't really talk to him.
But they know that they're a stalker.
I mean, there's no full-on proof, but, like, there's certain attributes of people who want to know way more than they should about a certain person or whatnot.
What if it's just something like really stupid, like what brand of cream do they like in their coffee?
No, no, no. These stalkers are more like they want to try to figure out the address kind of thing of the person.
Oh, okay. And so they show up to the convention to ask the person for their address?
I don't know if they're that bold, but, they're just creepy. I try not to really... When I hear about it, I kind of try to keep my distance.
So, but now you got me curious. Like, so in the communities, like, are they judgy? Like, if you like an actor or something too much, will they start suspecting you of, like, being a stalker as a,
No.
like, like a witch hunt?
No, no, not like that. Usually, like I said, you can tell the stalkers because they ask, like, a lot of super personal questions, like, right off the bat.
Like,
things that are not, like... It may come up in conversation every once in a while, but not to the point where that's all they want to talk about. Is super personal things that you wouldn't really like. I don't know how to explain it. There's just really
well,
creepy
a lot
people.
of things come to mind, but like I'm just starting to feel like sorry for people. Like, well, like what if someone's like they just really want to know what kind of peanut butter they use?
No, that's not it.
Like I would understand like red flags, like if they start talking about how they just want to spread peanut butter all over Con O'Neill. You're not hearing me out. Like, what if they're just like they really want to know, like, does he eat peanut butter? What kind of peanut butter does he eat? Does he have peanut butter and jelly? Does he have peanut butter
That's
toast?
not the type of creepy I'm talking about.
I'd be creeped out by someone who is that into what kind of peanut butter.
No, I'm talking about people who are trying to get like personal access, trying to like get a phone number or an address.
Okay. So I'm the.
Kind of thing.
I've come to a conclusion. I'm the judgy one here. All right. So there's creepy stalkers, but what I meant by what Hank meant by like does anyone just get a little fandomed out? Well, like, I don't know, like...
There are people who have burnout with fandom. Like, they just go away for a while. Maybe they have some personal issues going on or something like that. You don't hear from them for a bit, and then they come back.
Or was, Hank's question was that about people who have had a little bit too much fandom.
Yeah.
Like, people who, like, their identity is their fandom.
Yeah, a lot of people who, like, especially with our flagman's death, there's a lot of people who literally identify differently because of that show. Like, literally. Like, they came out, they might be non-binary, trans, whatever.
But do they run around like pirates? I think that's the important question.
Usually, they just do that for cosplay, like at conventions, but there's some people who want to do just pirate stuff outside of that. I mean, to each their own, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Okay. So you're not denying that there are people that try to run around like pirates from Our Flag Means Death, like...
There's probably... Maybe there is somebody. I don't know. I don't know anyone, but, I mean, it could happen.
Now, would, the general fandom community frown upon that? If somebody's just like,
We don't judge.
like they start like sharing pictures or like someone like sees them like getting an Uber and they're dressed as a pirate and then they go out for a burger as a pirate, like would the community shun that?
No, because they're just doing their thing as long as they're not harming anyone.
Okay.
Most fandoms are generally accepting, at least Our Flag Means Death, because a lot of people came from not being accepted. So as long as you're not hurting anybody, you do you.
Okay. So some fandoms are the fandom that you're speaking of, that Our Flag Means Death. It seems like a very nice community, but let's move over to Arthur Morgan and the Red Dead community. Well, the conventions that you wait, who did you say you met?
So I met Con O'Neill at my first convention. That was a fantastic experience. Second convention, I met David Hayter.
Okay, yeah. So David Hayter, that was for the Metal Gear, right?
Yes.
The Metal Gear? So, does it mean metal, like heavy metal?
No, it's a big robot.
Robots are stupid.
It's a big mech thing that tries to destroy things.
Well, that's cool. Does it run on propane?
Probably not.
Well, I don't think it's going to destroy many things then. Uh, Big robots always destroy a lot of things. Like in those, animes and stuff. Uh, there's probably, those anime communities at, the cons. Yeah, they dress cool. Well, the chicks do. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. So you got your Metal Gear. Is there a Metal Gear community?
Yeah, there's a Metal Gear community. A
But
lot of them are on Reddit and Twitter that I've noticed.
why? That's
I
interesting.
mean, they're everywhere, but the most times I see them talk are in Reddit threads and on Twitter.
Actually, that makes sense because Metal Gear is about spies and stuff, so they don't want to give their identity away on Instagram or TikTok because that's primarily video and photo.
I guess you could see it like that.
Now, there are some people that may have had too much fandom.
Probably.
All right, things are cracking up here, kind of, so we're going to take a quick break.
Yep. This is the DAB590 podcast, hosted by Dan America Bruce. Dan imitates, impersonates, and cosplays characters created by Mike Judge. This is the DAB590 podcast. I'll tell you what. And we're back. We're talking to this gal Maria here, who's saying stuff like, the Our Flag Means Death community is sweet as pie, but apparently the Metal Gear community all thinks that they're actual spies and refuse to show their face and only gather on Twitter or X and what the heck was the other one?
Reddit. But they're on TikTok and Instagram, but more talking goes around on Twitter and Reddit.
Well, do they really want people to see their conversations?
I guess.
I think I'm getting fandom confused with cosplaying.
A little bit.
But, oh, that reminds me. Oh, I forgot to talk about fan fiction. If somebody reads too much fan fiction, does the fandom community think that's weird?
No, not at all. They actually encourage reading fan fiction. Because it's creative.
Okay.
Support each other.
All right, so is this the Our Flag Means Death fandom
Every
community
fandom
or
I've
the
been
Metal Gear one? How many fandoms have you been in again?
Doctor Who, David Tennant.
All right, so you've read Doctor Who, David. You've read Doctor Who fan fiction
Yes.
about David Tennant.
About the character. There is such a thing as real person fan fiction, and that kind of creeps me out. I don't normally read that.
Well, that's not what I was really asking. Well, I just meant do they use the David Tennant Doctor Who?
They use all the doctors, but I usually read the ones that have either David Tennant or Matt Smith.
Right, yeah, that's what I was getting at. So,
Yeah.
wow, so they, you freaky fandom people even have, the preferred fan fiction. Well,
You might want to watch what you're saying there, Dan. What are you talking about? These people are dorks.
yeah, it's I want to make sure that it's the David Tennant Doctor Who whose fan fiction I'm reading. Like a dork.
Yeah. Now, boys, you settle down. I'm sure that they're not dorks and that fan fiction and pretending that you're a character can be cool.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm kind of with Beavis and Butthead.
That's because you're mean.
Yeah, you are aware that I'm doing all three voices and personalities here, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, sometimes people don't get my satire. My humor is very thick in satire.
What?
And So that's why, I want to kind of apologize to the audience right now because people are more used to my content as Hank Hill. I don't know if anyone really follows me on Twitch, where that's also DAB590. And I kind of like took down a lot of like my older stand up stuff. And now that you're getting Dan America, you're finding out that like my sense of humor is well. How would you just define my sense of humor? A person that would have no way of knowing.
Also known as your wife.
Yeah,
Dry and satirical.
I'm not dry.
Yeah, you're dry.
Well, when I do the Beavis and Butthead stuff, that's juicy. Yeah,
I think you're definitely satirical.
I think it's your I think it's your preference of humor
Yes.
that so through your preference and perception, I'm dry and satirical.
Yes, everyone has their own opinion.
Okay, so let's get to the Red Dead people. So you haven't have you met the Red Dead community?
In person, not yet. I'm hoping to meet some in August when I go to the Mid Hudson Comic Con.
Okay, so do the rest of them define themselves as a fandom community?
I am.
Which is a good question to say about the flag people too.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, but the thing is, with Red Dead, I've thankfully come upon a couple communities within the Red Dead fandom as a whole who have been very nice and very welcoming to me. Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
Shout out to Brute VS and Spooky Carrie on Instagram. Uh, I don't know how their handles are spelled, but they've welcomed me into their community, and it's been really nice, really fun.
You can't spell.
I can look it up.
Well, if you're really okay, so I guess Beavis and Butthead insulted you or motivated you. Yeah, you can look things up. It, we're not at we're in our living room right now, Maria. Like, no,
All right,
no,
so
no one's gonna say you can't be on the podcast because you looked it up. Our dog's sitting next to us.
yes, he is.
We're about to watch House of Dragons.
So Carrie is Spooky SPOOKY_S like Sam KERI, and then Brute on Instagram is BRUTE.
No, is this that? You sound like my mom ordering a pizza.
Underscore VS. He's also on Twitch and TikTok. I think Carrie is as well. I know she is.
All right, so
And X.
and these are the people that are representatives of the Red Dead fandom community.
At least to me, they're the ones who really welcomed me in. They modded. They were moderators for Roger Clark's Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough. His first playthrough publicly on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I met them, because I watched all of those streams and then, got talking to them. And then I joined their Discord, watched some of Brute's streams, things like that.
All right. Now, you've given us an awful lot here, so we now know that these fandom communities exist. They gather at conventions and they communicate online. What's like the furthest distance, like from you, or what is a community member? What's the furthest distance away that you've known of?
I know someone in Belgium. I know someone in Prague.
And what were they fans of?
Belgium Make MAIKE, I think, on Twitter.
No, just I want to know what they were a fan of.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, so someone from Belgium thinks they're a cowboy.
And
Is that how it works? Am I getting this wrong?
No. There's different levels. Like, not everyone thinks they're the person. Sometimes they cosplay, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just enjoy the character in the game or whatever.
Well, I'm personally a little disappointed. I think a Belgian cowboy would be just right. I tell you what.
um, Prague, England,
Or just fine.
Australia, New Zealand. There's all over.
And they all want to be cowboys.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Like between pirates and cowboys, in the sense that some are from the Red Dead community, some are from the.
You know, it's all in good fun. It's fun to think that there's communities of people that think they're fictional pirates from a show.
Well, I mean, there is the furry community.
All right, but we're not talking about that right now. Well, I know that there's some freaky communities out there, and that was something that I was going to do originally. Just I didn't get a chance to write down the names of freaky communities so that we could actually confirm that they exist. But
I mean,
yeah,
furries aren't freaky; they do their own thing.
well, did you ever hear about like the whole My Little Pony community?
No.
Yeah, there's people that love the My Little Ponies an awful lot.
Oh well, I mean, I wouldn't put that past them.
Well, there was a Bob's Burgers episode that like kind of made fun of it. Let's see if we can get the name of the My Little Pony community. Now, I want to say that they're cloppers, but I think cloppers are the
Yeah, I
bad
think they're
guys.
cloppers. I've heard of
Uh,
cloppers before.
well, all right. If I look up cloppers and I see something weird, you're going to be responsible. Oh, good. All right. A clopper. Here we go. All right. What do you have?
Clopper, I thought was.
No, I thought you were looking it up.
I wasn't looking it up.
Well, okay, fine. I looked it up on Google. That's what I wanted to know.
Good for you.
Okay. A clopper is, it has several distinct meanings, depending on the field of context. Hey, just like you said about the communities. Oh, wow. So cloppers, equestrian toy. Oh, what? Oh, wow. An equestrian, I guess they make their own hooves.
Oh.
Um, okay, I failed to find what a clopper is. Um, well, they have hooves. Oh, now you're gonna look it up? Okay, fine, you look it up. But I don't know. See, I went to the New York City Comic Con, and when I was there, like, I didn't really notice fandom communities. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, see, you found. All right, what are the ones that aren't like that? For anyone that was listening.
Oh, Brawny. While Brownies is the umbrella term for the fans of the show, regardless of age or gender, Clopper is a subculture.
Okay, I just want to let y'all know. I repeat, do not look up clopper. I repeat, why? What happens? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring this session to a close for right now. Well, we didn't really go over the freaky stuff. We could keep going. But, well, House of Dragons is going to be on soon.
Which we need to watch.
All right, yeah.
And House of Dragon and Game of Thrones has their own fandom. They call it George R. R. Martin Germ.
What? It sounded like you got tongue-tied and you just grunted out the rest.
No, I want to give shouts to my favorite podcast of who covers Game of Thrones. It's called Oysters, Clams, and Cockles on anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah, cockles.
They've been reviewing
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Yeah.
They've been reviewing all of the Game of Thrones shows since.
Did you just get annoyed at Beavis and Butthead?
No, they're fine. They have been covering all of the Game of Thrones shows plus other shows.
Yeah.
definitely check them out on wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, because they got like oysters, clams, and cockles.
Shouts to Ross. Shouts to Ross Bolin.
Yeah, cockles.
W.R. Bolin on X and Instagram, I think.
Okay, we went from being a slow guest to being a sassy guest. All right. So, yep. So, fandom communities are pretty much all based on fictional things. Is that the conclusion that we want to come to before Hank explains it?
I would say so, at least from my experience. There's probably other fandoms. I don't know if there's fandoms of, like, real life events like war and stuff. That's kind of, I wouldn't think so, but maybe there are.
But you can call them fandom, but they don't want to identify as fandom. But there is a group, a community of people that identify as a fandom community, and it is primarily things that you would find at a Comic-Con.
Yes.
All right, so that's the conclusion that we're going to come to. This was our first guest, Maria. Do you want to give yourself a shout out?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, aka X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and I'm on Discord, all at Maria, MariaSB85NYY. I post a little bit of everything. I post fandom edits. I sometimes post family stuff, dogs, things like that. So give me a follow. I'd love it. Thank you.
Do you have like an OnlyFans?
Oh, hell no.
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
All right, you two, that's enough. Yep, dang it, that's enough. All right, and now it's time to Hank-splain. Fandom. It's like being a fan of a sports team, like the Dallas Cowboys. But instead of wearing Dallas Cowboys jerseys and wanting to meet their favorite players, they dress like pirates and whatnot. And they want to meet people like Con O'Neill, David Hayter, and Roger Clark. They talk on the internet and gather at conventions, just like sports fans talk on the internet and gather at games. Fandom communities bring people together, make them happy, and gives them something to look forward to. Just like propane and propane accessories. I tell you what. Dang it, you boys! You stop laughing.
Yep, this is DAB590.
Like podcasts suck and stuff.
Well, I think it's informative.
Dang it, butthead!
Yeah, they suck.
Dang it, Beavis!
This is DAB590, the only place where you can get me, Dan America, Hank Hill, Beavis, and Butthead, I guess.
Aren't like podcasts just like two bros giggling?
Yeah, they suck.
I don't think you two boys acknowledge this, but you are two bros giggling.
Wait a minute. This is DAB590. This is the first episode. How did we do?
You suck.
Yeah, you suck.
I think that we did good. And if anything, you tried. Yeah, you tried.
Yeah, like, you had a good run, but you suck.
I'm Dan America. Thank you. We can only get better from here. The worst thing that can happen is nothing at all.
This is DAB590. Next episode coming soon.
If y'all have something to say about this topic, or if you want to suggest a new topic, you want to be a guest on the podcast, to talk about a topic, or just share your dank life story, you can email Dan America at DanielRobertBruce59@gmail.com. or just contact me on my socials, and well, we'll get that arranged in the appropriate order. I tell you what.